Okay, so the mic has officially died. So we're going to have to listen to the outside noises that you get to hear, and I hope that it isn't too distracting as I'm taking off my headset. And I hope you guys can hear me okay with all the other sounds going on outside. If not, somebody comment and I will see what I can do about the sound. But right now, let's all just start getting ourselves set up with our mats. Again, if you have a strap or if you have a block or 2 blocks, books are also another great option. Like I said on Thursday of last week, this week we're going to be focusing on some shoulder mobility and getting some more hip opening with our practice today. So I'm so excited to be here. I am at my friends in their backyard and it is absolutely beautiful. It's raining right now, so it's chilly, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to teach a class out here underneath this beautiful gazebo and this beautiful backyard that I wish was mine. It's so nice. I don't know if I'd ever not be in this backyard if it was my backyard. All right, so again, just waiting for folks to start to get a chance to check in for our 8:30 yoga class on North Cascades Athletic Club's Facebook page. If you haven't already done so, I highly recommend you give them a like and follow and get notifications anytime we go live. That way you don't miss any of the live videos. And if you haven't already signed up for some of the other online group fitness classes that we're offering, just send an email to Mark or to North Cascades Athletic Club so they can get you on that list and get you signed up for some of the other classes that are being taught that aren't going live on Facebook, but they're being taught via Zoom. So you have to have a sign-in link for those classes. Because I make up my own content, I get to do my classes for y'all on Facebook Live. All right, so hopefully everybody that wants to be here is here. And if you don't want to be here and you're here, I hope by the end you're going to be happy that you were here. And today's intention, today's super attractor card for us is I slow down and listen to the guidance that is available to me. So as we're moving through our practice today, I want to encourage us to slow down, to listen to what's happening in our bodies, and just move accordingly. So if we're starting to feel really out of breath or like unstable in a pose, see if we can slow down a little bit, find that stability in the pose, and then move. Even if we're already moving into a different place in the practice, you're going to gain a lot more from experiencing that pose in that moment and allowing yourself to be there and breathe and feel it in your body, slowing down before we move. So again, I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. And our bodies are great guides, so we want to listen to what's happening with our breath, with our bodies, and being aware of how we're feeling from moment to moment, and knowing that even from the beginning of our first standing mountain pose, which we're all going to get there now, so finding that standing mountain pose, feet hips distance apart, feet are parallel, and we're just going to lift up all the toes, and we're just going to start with the pinky, and we're just going to place the pinky toe, then the next, and just going all the way up to the big toe. So kind of fanning our toes out a little bit. And then we can just do that a couple more times, just getting those feet nice and grounded. Maybe bounce the knees a little bit, just keep that micro bend, softness in the knees. Maybe shift the hips. All we're doing right now is just getting the wiggles out of our bodies and just starting to find that grounded, centered feeling as we're rooting down through our feet, creating that solid foundation and connection to the surface below our feet and our mats. Maybe take a big breath, roll the shoulders up and back and down. And then again, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. As we roll the shoulders, and again, feeling the space between the shoulder blades really open and expand. Big breath in, shoulders shrug up. Exhale, shoulders roll back. And feel length in the neck. Relax those arms down by our sides. Palms face forward, standing mountain pose. Micro bend in the knees, nice inner core engagement. So thinking about the muscles that are like our corsets that run inside, underneath the six-pack muscles. We want to work those muscles as we inhale, pulling those muscles up and in, but we're still able to breathe freely. Nice open breath. And take a couple more nice deep breaths here. And then we're going to slowly begin to just shift our weight front to back. Nice gentle shifting. We're not lifting the heels. We're not lifting the front part of the feet. Maybe the toes lift, but we're just shifting. And then maybe we shift side to side, nice and slow. Imagining that we're a tree in the forest and the wind is blowing and we're just gently swaying, nice and gently, in control with stability from side to side, and just noticing the shifting of our weight from one foot to the other. And what this is doing, and then we can maybe go into circles in one direction. And what this is doing is helping us to improve our ability to gain more balance. It's helping our proprioception, understanding where our bodies are in space and time. A lot of our inner receptors that tell us if we're upright or if we're starting to fall over are in our ankles. So by doing these little movements, shifting balance, even though they seem really subtle, they're actually really beneficial in helping us as we begin to maybe lose our ability to maintain balance, or we start to notice we're running into things a lot, or maybe we're falling a lot more than we had before. This is a good way to stimulate those, even though it's a small, subtle movement. Those proprioceptors are starting to activate, and it's helping us. So that if we start to fall over, we feel it in our bodies, and that's when we like catch ourselves. Some of us, as we age, we lose that ability to notice, oh, I'm falling, and it doesn't register, and then we just fall over. So stimulating the ankles, making circles with the ankles. Let's all go ahead and do that together. Rotate the ankles, both directions, balancing on one foot. And we're just going to come back to that standing mountain pose. We're going to start to warm up the bodies, our bodies, adding some breath movement connection. So we'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reach long through the spine. Exhale, press the air back down by our sides. And we're just going to do that 5 more times. Big breath in through the nose, reaching long. Imagine the spine is growing longer and longer. Exhale, press the hands back down by our sides. 3 more. Inhaling, arms reach up. Exhaling, press the air. Press the inner core and up. Belly button towards the spine. Inhale, reach. Exhale, press. Last one. This time, letting the fingertips connect overhead. So the fingertips are connected overhead. And just relax those shoulders down and away from our ears. So far, we're noticing we're really shrugged up. Go ahead and just relax those shoulders down. Bend the elbows if we need to. Nice big breath here. And now let's exhale. Press the hips back. Hands come to heart center as we sit into our chair, our imaginary chair that's behind us. So we're sitting nice long spine, inner core engaged, holding this chair. Feel the feet, knees tracking with the toes. Gently pressing the palms together so we activate those pec muscles, the muscles on our chest. And then between the shoulder blades. And we're just going to do a nice easy little pulse here as we imagine the chair's behind us. So we're going to sit, nope, we're going to stand. Sit, nope, stand. So we're just pulsing back like we're trying to reach back to hit that chair. So it's not so much an up and down as much as it's pressing back and then up. Press back, then up just a little bit. It isn't a big movement, it's just really small. Just building that connection, quads activating, the glute muscles, hamstrings, all those muscle groups that are activating right now in order to help us begin this chair flow. Exhale, we lower into that chair. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out and up, extend the legs, reach, extended mountain. Exhale, palms together, sit back to our chair. So now we're just going to flow here with the breath. Inhaling, arms out and up, stand, extend. Exhale, palms together, sit back to our chair. Inhale, extend. Exhale, sit back to our seat. Keep those knees tracking over the toes. Keep the core active as we continue to exhale to chair. Inhale to extend. Keep the feet rooted down strong, pressing both feet equally into the mat as we flow with the breath. Just warming up the body. Building that breath to movement connection. Starting to develop that core activation even more. And just continuing, exhaling to chair. Inhale to extend. 3 more chairs. Exhale to chair. Inhale to extend. 2 more chairs. And last chair. Exhale. Inhale, extend, extended mountain. As we exhale, we're going to step to the long edge of our mats, feet wider than hips distance apart. We're going to externally rotate the knees, so open the knees out to the side, let the toes follow. Nice long spine, arms will reach 5-pointed star. Exhale, elbows come down, knees track with the toes as we lower into moonflower. Shoulders are back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And just hold here. Squeeze the glutes, engage those muscles in the inner thighs. Toes are in line with, knees in line with the toes. And we're going to build a flow here. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach arms to the sky, 5-pointed star. Exhale, we lower back to that moonflower. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, lower. Inhale, we extend, beginning to allow the breath to lead this movement as we exhale, lower. Then as we inhale, then we start to expand and move. Exhale, then we begin to lower. Building that movement connection with the breath. Noticing that pause, that space at the edge of the exhale and at the edge of the inhale. And just 5 more moonflowers. Inhale, moving at our own breath pace. Seeing if we can slow it down even more with the breath. Maybe we start to get a little bit lower with each exhale. Or maybe we started out going too low, so maybe we're not going quite as low. Just remembering our objective is warming up the hips. And just warming up the body. Starting to build that connection to breath and movement. Now we're going to transition to our sunflowers. So the first version, we just bring the hands to the knees, a bigger dip in the hips, bigger hinge in the hips, and then reach to the sky. Keeping the spine nice and flat, heart above the hips, head above the heart. So just hands to knees, lower, and then come back up. Now we can stay here, or we can sweep the arms down. Imagine we're scooping up sand, and we're tossing it up overhead. Exhale, scooping up some water, splashing it up overhead. So this is our sunflower. And we're just flowing in. Exhale, we come down and scoop. Inhale, we sweep out and up. Exhale, we come down and scoop. Inhale, out and up. And just breathe and flow. Remember the options. We can always bring those hands back to the knees. This is a great option if maybe we want a deeper hinge in the hip, but we haven't quite established the strength in our bodies yet. So this helps us to get a little lower, but we're still getting work. You decide what works for you. Remembering to let the breath guide the movement, to guide the flow. One more sunflower. Now we're going to alternate moonflower. Exhale to moonflower. 5-pointed star on the inhale. Exhale, sunflower, sweeping down and up. 5-pointed star. Exhale, moonflower. Inhale, extend. Exhale, sunflower. Exhale, moonflower. Inhale, extend. Exhale, sunflower. Holding here in 5-pointed star. We're going to lower to our moonflower. Inhale, extend, reaching lateral extension with one arm. Exhale, back to that moonflower. Inhale, switching sides, lateral extension on the opposite side. Come back to that moonflower. And then we're just going lateral extension from side to side. I'm going to show you from the front. So you go moonflower, extend, moonflower, extend the opposite side, moonflower, extend the opposite side. So we're just breathing here. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Feel lots of openness in the side body. And just flow. Now both arms reach to the sky at the same time. Toes point forward. Press the hips back as we swan dive forward in this wide stance, forward fold. Head hangs. Breathe, let go. Maybe shift side to side. And inhale, halfway lift. Wide leg variation of monkey. Hands to the knees. Pressing ourselves all the way back up. Step deck to the top of our mats. Standing mountain pose. First round of sun salutations. 3 breaths in each movement. Inhaling, arms reach up overhead. Shoulders drop down. Relax the fingers, but have energy coming out of our fingers as we then relax the shoulders down. Breathe. Micro bend in the knees as we soften and float forward in a forward fold. Hips press back. Rib cage, belly rests on the tops of the thighs. Bend the knees as much as we need to, and then just let the head hang. Maybe shake the head yes or no. Making sure the head is truly dangling. Again, if we are feeling it in the lower back or it's too intense in the hamstrings, bend the knees a little bit more. Woo. On our next inhale, we're going to halfway lift. Flatten the spine, press into the shins, monkey pose. Hold here. Really feel those hamstrings lengthening. As we press the sit bones back, keep that spine nice and long. Inner core is engaged. On our next exhale, we're going to bring hands firmly to the mat. Bend the knees as much as we need to do that. Step one foot, then the other to the back of the mat for plank. So wrists under shoulders, pressing the heels back. We can modify by putting one knee down or both knees. And then as we exhale, elbows brush the rib cage as we lower through our chaturanga all the way down to the mat. Toes point back, squeeze the knees together, squeeze the glutes, shoulders roll back. Inhale, lifting into cobra, baby cobra. So all we're using are those spinal muscles to lift us. Keep the tops of the feet on the mat. So if we lift so high and the feet start to lift, that's too far. So we need to come down just a little bit. Tuck those toes, slink up and back, down facing dog. Woo. Alternate, one heel presses, then the other into the mat. Breathe. And just continuing to warm up the ankles, getting a deeper opening in those calf muscles. And then find center. Extend the right leg straight back. Exhale, step through, high lunge. So that right foot is stepping next to the right hand. If it doesn't quite make it, we can grab the ankle, Pull it forward, knees stacked over the ankle. Finding the stability, pull that right femur bone up into the hip. So we're nice and solid here. Then we inhale, sweep the arms up to a crescent lunge. We can always come up with a knee on the mat. Shoulders down, relax. Energy in the fingers, thumbs relaxed. Again, we're pulling that left femur bone into the hip, and we're sinking all at the same time. So we're building strength as we're increasing our mobility. Exhale, let's shift our weight forward, back foot stepping to the top of our mats, forward fold. Breathe. Inhale, let's come to our chair. So sit to the chair. Arms can extend overhead or hands can rest at heart center. Awesome. Inhale, let's extend, extended mountain. Reaching, lengthening. If we want a little back extension, spinal extension, we can reach up and then a little bit back or a lot back. Keeping that inner core still able to breathe. Come back to neutral. Exhale, swan dive forward, nice flat spine. Press the hips back, soft knees. Micro bend in the knees, hang the head. Breathe. Imagine we have a block in the inner thighs and we're trying to press that block to the back of our mats. On our next inhale, flatten the spine. Press the hands into the shins. Now for my weightlifters in class today, if we were to come up in a deadlift, if we were doing a deadlift, obviously we wouldn't start here. But we want to imagine we're preparing our bodies to lift a heavy weight. So we have that spinal support by activating the core. Spine is long. And in yoga, we're getting a little dramatic. So if we have the ability to create more spinal extension, we can do that. And all that is doing is building those muscles that run up and down the spine to help create more stability for us. On our next exhale, hands firmly to the mat as we step one foot back, then the other coming to our plank. Woo! Nice strong plank. Again, we can lower one knee or both knees as we lower all the way to the mat through chaturanga. Toes point back. Squeeze the knees, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, cobra. Again, working those spinal muscles. Woo! Breathe. Exhale, toes tuck. Pressing up and back. Downward facing dog. Again, alternate one heel then the other. Pressing into the mat. Woo! Breathe. Let's settle to neutral. Extend the left leg straight back. Keep the hips square to the mat. And then let's look between our hands as we step that left foot forward. Again, if it doesn't quite make it, we can give it a little help. Option, lower that right knee and then inhale to our crescent. Or keep the knee lifted and then we inhale up. Woo. Find the fluidity in the upper body, stability in the lower. Pull that right femur bone into the hip so we're stable. Inner core is engaged. We're feeling those transverse abdominis muscles activating here. Exhale, shifting our weight forward, step into the top edge of our mats, forward fold. Let go. On our next inhale, chair pose. So sit back to our seat. Arms again extend overhead or hands can rest at heart center. Make sure the knees are tracking with the toes and they haven't collapsed together. Press through the heels, extend. Extended mountain. Standing mountain. We're going to build on. Inhale, reach up overhead. Find that extension. If we want that little back extension, we can go there. Breathe. Soft face. Exhale, let's fold forward. Neutral spine, then we fold. Soft knees. On our next inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Shoulders back, open across the chest. Really feel loaded hamstrings. They should be nice and tight, but not so tight that it feels like they're gonna snap. Exhale, hands firmly to the mat, stepping back again to our plank. From here, we're gonna lift our hips up and back, downward facing dog. And in our downward facing dog, we're just gonna lift our fingers off the mat so the pads of the hands stay grounded. We're just lifting the fingers, and we're gonna just place the pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, then thumb. And then we're gonna lift pinkies, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumbs. And then we're gonna lower thumbs, index finger, middle finger, pinky, then our ring finger. Ooh. Let's inhale, right leg extend straight back. Let's open the hips, so stacking our hips so that we're open to the right edge of the mat, grounding through that left leg, pressing energy into that left heel. Even if it isn't touching the mat, we're still energetically reaching towards the mat with that left heel. And then from here, we're gonna square the hip and gently step through high lunge. Finding that stable position, pull that femur bone into the hip so that the hips square to the front of the mat. Inhale, crescent lunge. Woo! Gently shift forward so we can lower that back heel down for warrior one. Now our hips may open a little bit in this warrior one, and that's okay. If we are in a deep stance like I am right now, our hips have to open if we don't have that hip mobility to safely stay square without wrenching on the knee. So front knee 90 degrees. Our bodies, however, our shoulders are square to the front of the mat. Hold and breathe. Just explore. Now we're going to open up to our warrior two. So again, we're just opening the arms, reaching out to the side. We're facing flat to the long edge of our mats now. Arms extending out. If you need to straighten the leg, it's okay. Go ahead. Come back in. Knees tracking with the toes. So just take a look right now. Is my knee on the inside of my big toe? Is it on the outside, or the outside or the inside of my big toe? We want it to line up with the toe next to our big toe. Hold. Let's all straighten the front leg. Nice big breath in. Reach the arms up overhead. We're going to create a flow here. Exhale, lower, warrior two. Arms lower, knee lowers. Inhale, reach back up. Extend the legs, extend the arms. Extend. Exhale, lower. Press back down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. This time as we lower, we're going to press the arms all the way back behind us. Press, squeeze, and then inhale, straighten. Reach back up to the sky. Exhale again, pressing down all the way down. Squeeze behind the back. Then inhale, reach back up. One more time. Exhale, lower, squeeze. Woo! Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, back to our warrior two. We're going to work to reverse warrior. So just reaching forward. We're activating the oblique muscles. We're activating the muscles along the spine. Lift into reverse warrior. So we're not just going here and dumping in. We're lifting up. Lifting the heart towards the sky. Opening the shoulders, maybe a little spiral here. If the knee starts to straighten, that's okay, but see if we can keep the knee over the ankle. Breathe. Warrior two. Straighten the front knee. Preparing for triangle. If you have a block, you can use it now. But right now, we're building those inner core muscles. We're building that strength in our mobility and our greater ranges of motion So I'm going to challenge us here. Let's exhale, reach forward. So we're just warming up the hip, warming up that inner thigh. Come back to center. Starting again, oblique muscles are controlling this movement. So I'm not just coming forward and using my hips to bring me. I'm using my inner core, that core strength, to bring us forward. Come back. Now we're going to reach to the top edge of our mats. Hold here. Can I take a breath? Do I feel in control? If so, we can lower that right arm down, and then all we're going to do is stack the shoulder, reach the opposite arm up. Even if when we get here we can drop deeper in, I challenge us to stay at that edge we created in the beginning, because here is where we're going to start to really tune in to that inner core strength. Woo, and building a strong ability to go into a triangle pose here and still feel strength, still be able to talk, and still be able to breathe. Coming back up, warrior two arms, reverse triangle. So that left hand reaches down, right arm reaches up. Both legs are straight. Our bodies are perfectly between the front and back leg. Lifting. We're going to create a flow here. Exhale, warrior two. I'm sorry, triangle pose. Exhale to triangle pose. Inhale to reverse triangle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale to reverse triangle. Woo! Exhale, triangle. Inhale to reverse triangle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale to reverse. This time we're going to exhale to warrior two. So bending that front knee, arms open out to the sides. Squeeze those glute muscles so we have that strong foundation. Warrior one. If you need to adjust the legs, go ahead. Balance pose on the right side. So we're going to gently shift our weight forward. So some options here. We can just stay right here and just maybe lift and lower that back leg, keeping the hips square to the mat. Or we can experiment with standing splits. Energetically reaching that left leg up. Try our best to not go here. Keeping the legs square, the hips square to the mat. Building that strength. And then from here we can lower the foot, flatten the spine, float into warrior three. Woo. Arm positions. Woo. We can reach opposite, one arm forward, one back, both arms back, out to the sides. Then from here we're going to slowly float, or we can always bring that foot down any point it's available. We're going to bring the arms down by our sides, hands on our hips. If we're balancing still on that one foot, we're going to take the ankle either below the knee on the shin or above the knee on the thigh. And then from here, externally rotate the knee, preparing for our tree pose. Doing our best not to dump into that right hip, so we're staying tall. Another option is to have the toes of the left foot on the mat and just opening here. Arms extend, reach to the sky. Branches on our tree. Remember, any point you can always come back to that standing mountain pose. If we're still in our tree, imagine we're a bird taking flight. Spread our wings. Exhale. We land and glide. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Woo. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey pose. Exhale, hands all the way to the mat, stepping back to plank. Downward facing dog. Again, we can Loosen up, alternate one heel then the other, pressing into the mat. Breathe. And find neutral, both feet equally pressing towards the mat. Then the left leg extends straight back. Oh, breathe. Stack the hips. Reaching back. Really getting deep into that right calf, right hamstring. Slowly square the hips, stepping through. Bring that left foot up. High lunge. Finding our stability here. We have options. We can lower the right knee or keep it lifted, then come into our crescent lunge. You decide, listening to our bodies as we move through this flow, this warrior sequence. Now, if our knee is down as we transition to that warrior one, that's okay. We can just stay here, maybe bring that heel a little bit, the foot a little bit off to the edge. So we're getting a little bit of that rotation in the hip. But we can just stay right here, the rest of us. Lower that back heel into warrior one. Breathe. Woo! So if we have our knee down and as we transition into that warrior two position, what we can do is keep the knee open and then just come here. You can do warrior two just like this. But for those of us that are standing, warrior two, here. Knees 90 degrees, tracking with the toes, so inside that big toe. Breathe. Glutes are engaged, but we maintain that natural curve in the lower back. So we're not really tucking under, so we're not looking like this. We want to be long in the spine. Imagine we're being pulled up, but there's a heavy weight pulling us down as well. Breathe. I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me right now in my body. What is my body asking for besides relaxation? So let's go ahead, straighten that front knee. Exhale, bring it back to that 90-degree bend. Now straighten the front knee. Inhale, arms extend overhead. Exhale, come back down. Bend the knee, arms come down. Woo. Now we're going to exhale, arms sweep down in front. Kind of almost overlap the hands in front. And then we're going to inhale all the way up. So we're making a big circle. Straighten the front leg, arms extend. Exhale, we float past the warrior two, arms all the way down. Keeping the shoulders broad. So we don't want to do one of these jobs. We want to keep it open. Inhale, straighten the leg, arms reach. Exhale, float the arms down. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Sweep the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And if we're on the mat, if our knees on the mat, we can do the same movement. Just be careful of that knee that's on the mat. Sometimes it's not as comfortable. Or we can just do the arm gestures. Inhale, arms to warrior two. Palms facing down. Energy from the fingertips. Squeezing those glutes, knees tracking with the toes. And our core is engaged. Reach. Woo. Come back to center. Exhale, reach. Come back to center. One more time, reach. Palm faces up. Lifting our energy up to reverse warrior. So feeling lots of length in the side body and the right side of the body as we lift up. The right shoulder, the left side of the body. The right shoulder is opening to the back edge of the mat. Breathe. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Triangle prep. If we need to shorten our stance a little bit, we can. If we're starting to feel unstable in our stance, it's a great option. And then just reach and come back and reach Come back to center. Reach. Come back. One more time, reach, exhale. As far as we can, hold. Can I breathe? Can I talk if I needed to? Do I feel strong in my spine and supported in my core? If so, yes. Drop the hand, stack the shoulders, opposite arm reaches up. That's our triangle for today. Even if we can then dump a little bit farther, I want us to stay here so we're building those oblique muscles to support us so that when we eventually get to the point where we have the mobility in our hips to go into that full expression of triangle, we're good to go. So we're going to inhale, come back up, warrior two, arms, keep the legs straight. Reaching up, reverse triangle pose. Same feeling in the upper body, rooting down through the hips, through the feet. Pulling up and lengthening. Belly button expands with the breath. Now we're going to flow here. Exhale, we come to our triangle. Whew. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, float to our triangle. Inhale, coming back to triangle. Exhale to triangle. I keep saying triangle, I mean reverse triangle. Or reverse triangle. Inhale. Triangle pose on the exhale. Last reverse triangle. And float into our warrior two. Awesome. And then we're just going to bring ourselves back into that warrior one. Holding here. Core is engaged. And we're just going to shift forward. Hands come down to the mat. This is where we decide we're going to stay here and just lift the legs. Lift that right leg up. Or we can explore standing splits. Lifting that leg. The right leg lifts. Try not to stack the hip. There's more magic that will happen in our bodies here because we're opening up the calves, hamstrings. Woo. Then from here, we can just float into warrior three, or we can land the foot down, find the stability, and then get into our warrior three, arm positions. Woo! Arms overhead, out to the sides, staggered, or both arms back. And then from here, we're going to gently float. Bring that right knee up, or it can stay on the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left shin or over the left thigh. Or we can keep the right toes on the mat. And we're just going to externally rotate that hip, pressing in like we're a tree growing deep roots into the earth. Then our branches reach to the sun. So we can grow stronger in our foundation, finding that limitless resource of energy coming from the sun. Breathing, feeling grounded, imagining our roots are growing deep into the earth and expanding out, creating a stronger foundation, stronger root system, so that no matter what comes our way, we have the stability to stand in strength. Then from here, we can either just release out of tree and come to standing mountain, or we can float away like a bird taking flight. Come to that standing mountain. Reach extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Woo. Breathe here. And just let the head hang. Maybe we grab the elbows. Bend the knees as much as we need to so we can just really hang here in this forward fold. Woo. And then gently lifting into our monkey pose, chair pose, extended mountain, standing mountain. taking a little wider stance on our mats, so maybe mat distance apart, but keep those feet parallel. We're going to inhale, arms reach out to the sides, palms are facing forward. Nice deep breath in. Let's all drop the shoulders down. Another nice deep breath in. Now pull the shoulder blades together. Whew. And just feel that energy in our shoulders. And from here, we're going to imagine we have a friend behind us and they're gently pulling the backs of our hands towards each other. Except we're doing it on our own right now with our own muscle strength. And by doing this version, we are doing some magic where we're creating strength and greater ranges of motion, as opposed to being an observer of someone bringing us into that deeper range of motion. Being passive in it. So then let's bring the palms of the hands together in front, and then we're just going to bring the arms up overhead, and then press the thumbs back, but reaching the head forward, but not like we're craning the head. We're just energetically bringing the throat and head forward, like we're peering through our biceps, like it's a window opening up. And then just press the arms down beside us. Let's roll the shoulders, shake it out. Bring the feet back together. Let's find balance in the right foot. We're gonna gently lift the left knee up. So being long and tall. So some options here, we can always tap that toe down if we're struggling with balance, or if there's a chair or counter close by, we can go ahead and use that for stability and support. We're gonna bring arms out to the side. Nice big breath in. And we're just gonna bring the left hand into the left shoulder. The right arm, if the knee's lifted, is just gonna gently come to the outside of that left knee. And then we're gonna take this left arm and we're gonna swoop it down like a windmill, and we're gonna open ourselves up into this twist. Woo. Core, feet, strength, spinal mobility, shoulder mobility, focus, slowing down and feeling. Even if we're here, we're feeling a lot. Even if that foot's on the mat. And gently bring that left arm down, sweep everything up overhead. Exhale, fold. Both feet rooted to the mat. Woo. Inhale, reverse up. Nice flat spine. Exhale, arms down by our sides, finding steps or stability in the left leg. Right knee lifts. Again, toe to the mat, that's an option. We're gonna take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Nice big breath, find length. So check in, am I dumping into that hip? If so, find that stability. Lengthening up. Then we're gonna sweep that right arm forward, then open into that standing twist. Woo! Breathe. Find something stable that isn't moving to focus. Breathe. 2 more breaths. Big breaths. 1 more. And gently untwist. Bridge to the sky. Forward fold. We're going to make our way onto our mats now. Hands strong to the mat. Step back to plank. If your legs are shaking, yay. If not, that's okay. Take the knees wide on our mats, big toes together, active child's pose, hips to heels, make tents with our fingers, and we're just gonna lower the forehead towards the mat. So we're still active in those shoulders, still pressing the fingertips into the mat, and just play here with the shoulders. Now, if you have blocks, you can always place your hands on the blocks, which will give us a really great shoulder stretch, shoulder mobility. But for right now, if we don't have blocks, finger tents work great. Breathe. And relax. Bring the palms of the hands down. Bring the elbows under the shoulders, palms of the hands down. Bring the knees together, and we can stay right here. This is a perfectly good spot to be. Another option, tuck the toes, dolphin pose. As we tuck the toes, lift the hips. Again, this is more shoulder work. So if this is hurting your shoulders at all, definitely don't do it. Go back to the other version. So we're in dolphin. Pressing into the hands, squeezing, active in the shoulders. Woo. And release. Knees back to the mat. Open the heart forward. And relaxing onto our stomachs. We're going to take the right arm out to the side, palm facing down. Press the shoulder, the front of the right shoulder, down towards the mat. And we're just going to open, remembering that we have a lot of leverage right now in our bodies. So as we're opening up that shoulder, just being aware that we're not going too far and that it feels good, but we're not damaging anything in our shoulders. And we're still active in the shoulder, so it isn't completely just limp. We're still actively engaging the rotator cuff muscles. And gently come out, come back to center. Left arm extends out. We're grounding that shoulder down, kind of like we're trying to plant the armpit. Then we activate the shoulder, so pulling that shoulder in, and then we come into this stretch. So we're staying active. Don't let it relax. We want to stay active, holding that shoulder in. Whew. Breathe. And come back to center. And release the shoulder out. Shake it, do whatever feels good. Now, if we have the shoulder mobility right now to interlace the fingers or maybe grab a thumb or two fingers, or if you have a strap would be ideal right now. And we're just gonna roll the shoulders back, squeeze the knees together, and just press the fists back. Breathe. Woo. So like we're trying to reach to the ankles. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Maybe roll a little side to side. Woo. Get that vagus nerve stimulated. And relax. Bring both arms forward, stack the hands, and just let the head rest. So we're building into bow pose. So this time, instead of interlacing the fingers, we're just going to bring the hands down to our sides and just reach back. Now, if we want to, we can lift both feet. Keep those knees squeezing together, so we don't want to go here. Keep the legs together as we reach, as though we're trying to reach back, grab the ankles, and now the ankles are trying to help us out, but we can't bend our knees. Breathe. Maybe gentle roll side to side. Don't have to, but if you want to try it, go ahead. And then let's relax down. Breathe, let go. Half bow. Reaching. Bend the ankle. Grab the top of the foot. Press the foot into the hand and lift up. So this arm isn't pressing me. It's just there for counter. Other option is to come onto our side and go here in our half bow. If we want to go into full bow, both knees bend. If we're in half bow, do the other side. Reach the arms back, grab the ankles, and then press. Breathe. Squeeze the knees. And whenever we're ready, releasing out. find neutral spine. Then we'll press back to child's pose. A restorative child's pose so the arms can be relaxed. Let's go ahead and come up to all fours. We're going to bring the legs around front, so come to a nice comfortable seat. Butterfly, not cobblers. Bottoms of the feet together. Legs are in a diamond shape, so we can really focus on the hip mobility here. So some of us may be leaning back so we can maintain that strong flat spine, which is totally cool. However, we can also sit up tall if that's in our practice, as long as we're not starting to round. If we're super comfortable here and everything feels like I can stretch a little bit further, I feel good in my body to be able to do this, belly button reaches towards the heels, continuing to keep the flat spine. If we can do that, then we can definitely take a little bit of a fold. But if we find that we're doing one of these jobs where the spine is super rounded, we're not ready for that yet. And that's okay, because we're slowly building that range of motion, that strength, and that mobility, that movement in our hips. Breathe. Let's bring the knees together. We're going to come onto our backs for a nice spinal twist. I'm going to go to the side. So we're just coming onto our backs. Arms extend out to the side, palms facing down. Glue the shoulder blades into the mat. Extend the left leg. Right knee stays bent. Shifting our left hip off center towards the right foot. And we're just going to twist to the right side. To the left side. So the leg that's straight, we're twisting around that leg. Keep the right shoulder rooted down. It's going to want to lift up so I can get my knee to the mat. But there's more benefit keeping that shoulder down. Breathe. Let the lower back release. Let gravity do the work. If the gravity is working too hard, we can always take the other hand, place it under the knee for a little support. Because if we're feeling pain or pinching in our back in any way, then we might be twisting a little bit too deep. So find that support with this hand. Inhale, bring the knee back to center. Let's shift our hips back to neutral. Bend the other knee, extend the other leg. So we're doing the same thing, opposite side. Right hip shifts towards the left foot, then we twist. Again, keep that left shoulder glued down. Breathe. Relax the shoulders. Let's inhale, gently bring that left knee back to center. Shifting our hips back into neutral, bending both knees. We're going to grab behind the right knee, pull that right knee in and towards the chest. We can keep the left leg bent or extend it. Just takes a little deeper release in the hips. But if that doesn't feel good, we can always keep that knee bent. And if we want to take it a little bit further, if the leg is extended, even if the knee's bent, we can always start to straighten that leg that's pulled in. Keep pressing the tailbone towards the mat. Woo, shake, shake, shake. I'm not even trying to shake, and it's shaking. Woo. And we can release. Bring that leg back down to the mat. Right, the opposite knee, take the hands behind, pull it in. Again, we have options. We can extend the right leg. We can start to extend the left leg, pulling it in. Keep the tailbone down. Breathe, relax the shoulders. Release it out. Just let go. Go ahead and release down. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Just move the body in any way right now that you feel like it would feel good to move. Maybe another twist, maybe just hugging the knees into the chest and just rocking side to side. Or maybe happy baby for those of us that have that in our practice, grabbing the outside edges of the feet and just pull the knees down, just getting that deeper hip opening. Whatever we're needing right now in order to go into a nice, comfortable, and relaxed Savasana. So just eventually, in the next 3 breaths, finding ourselves in that relaxed, still position. 2 more breaths. Now we're either on our backs with the knees bent or legs straight out, or we're in child's pose, or we're on our sides. See if we can open up the chest, tuck the shoulders under, relaxing the chin down towards the chest, which relaxes the back of the head. Not that the neck is resting on the mat, but we're just relaxing the back of the head, releasing any tension back there. Let the tongue relax and release from its grip on the roof of our mouths. And just together, we're all going to do this breath where we're going to take a nice big breath in. Then as we exhale, we're just going to stick our tongues out and like a big lion's roar. But if you want to roar, go ahead. But we're just sticking the tongue out and exhaling through the mouth. So nice big breath in and exhale. If that feels good and you want to do a couple more, go ahead, or just start to allow ourselves to relax even more. What that does is it stimulates the lymphatic system. It stimulates our immune system. And it also helps to relax the back of the throat. So closing our eyes if it's comfortable. Finding stillness. And just noticing the breath as it flows in and out. If we find that our minds begin to wander too much into places that it doesn't need to go right now, we can repeat in our minds, breathing in, breathing out, out, out. Breathing in, breathing out, out, out. And as we began to drift into relaxation, just starting to visualize that tree. When we were in tree pose and we were imagining that root system growing deep into the earth and then expanding out horizontally. So just beginning to imagine ourselves rooting into our purpose, rooting into our inner strength. As we breathe in, we grow and collect energy. And then as we exhale, our root system grows deeper and expands out. And imagining whatever we need in our lives right now, whether it's more love, more courage, more strength, more self-control, whatever it is, imagining that our root system is growing deep into that space, into that thought, whatever it is that we need right now. With every breath in, we pull the energy in that we need to grow those strong roots. Exhaling, those roots grow deeper into the earth, expanding out, building stability and strength. In that purpose, in that intention, we're trying to attract to ourselves. Let's do 3 more breaths with that intention. Breathing in, I attract and accumulate all the energy I need in order to grow strong roots, grounded in whatever energy, whatever thought you're trying to attract right now. I'm just taking a moment to sit with the idea that breathing in that energy that we need is not taking it from anyone else. There's an abundance of that energy available to all of us, and there's enough for everyone. And as we breathe it in, we can selfishly take in as much as we need so that our root system can grow strong. Continuing that growth process in our breathing, or we can just let our minds relax. As you're settling into relaxation, I encourage you to stay here for another 5 or 10 minutes if you can. I'm just going to start bringing myself back into the space, and those who want to join me, feel free. Otherwise, just stay in your relaxation. Maybe shut the live recording off or the live video off. Or just the rest of us are going to gently make our way back to a comfortable seat. However that looks in your practice. I'm just sitting up nice and tall. I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. Inhaling, arms up overhead, letting our palms connect. Exhaling, stopping at the space between our eyebrows and just resting our thumbs there. And take 3 breaths here, and let's send gratitude inward. Something about ourselves, big or small, that we feel thankful for. On our next exhale, bringing hands down to heart center. And take a nice deep breath in, letting our thumbs connect to our heart. And as we feel that connection, that energy between our palms and the energy flowing from our heart center into our thumbs, let's send gratitude outward. And just remember, as we slow down, as we listen to the guidance available to us, we will find the answers that we need. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you'll have an amazing day.